You won't believe what Jamie Lee Curtis was up to before she became a Hollywood icon. Most people know her as the Queen of Scream, the badass from Halloween, or even the no-nonsense mum from Freaky Friday. But what if I told you there was a side to her past that Hollywood tried to keep under wraps before she dominated the big screen? Jamie Lee had a wild modeling era that almost no one talks about. And trust me, once you hear about it, you'll never see her the same way again. Jamie Lee Curtis was born into Hollywood royalty, with legendary parents like Tony Curtis and Janet Leigh. Fame was practically in her DNA, but despite growing up in the spotlight, she wasn't always sure she wanted to follow in their footsteps. In fact, before acting became her claim to fame, she dabbled in something that surprised everyone: modeling. And we're not talking about just any modeling. She was part of some bold, edgy photoshoots that had people talking. Some were glamorous, some were risqué, and some were so unconventional that Hollywood wanted to forget they ever happened. During the late 70s and early 80s, Jamie Lee's striking looks and confident presence made her a perfect fit for the fashion industry. Magazines were eager to feature her, and designers loved her unique blend of elegance and attitude. But here's where things get interesting. Unlike the polished, picture-perfect models of the time, Jamie Lee brought something different to the table. She had an edge, a rebellious streak that set her apart, and that's exactly what made some of her photoshoots so unforgettable. One of her most talked-about shoots featured her in a completely unexpected look. Far from the horror movie Scream Queen persona everyone knew her for, it was daring, artistic, and completely ahead of its time. Some even say that these photos challenged the beauty standards of that era, but not everyone was impressed. Some Hollywood executives thought these images might overshadow her acting career. They wanted them buried, forgotten, erased from the public eye. But as we all know, nothing stays hidden forever. What's even more shocking is that Jamie Lee herself has rarely spoken about this part of her past. While she's always been open about her career, her modeling days remain one of those blink and you'll miss it moments in Hollywood history. Why is that? Was it a personal choice? Or was there pressure from the industry to keep this chapter quiet? And here's the real question. If these photos were so controversial back then, what would people think of them today? Now, if you're wondering whether Jamie Lee regrets any of it, the answer might surprise you. Over the years, she's proven that she's never been one to shy away from who she is. She's always embraced every part of her journey, even the parts that others tried to hide. And that's what makes her legendary. Whether it was through her fearless roles, her candid interviews, or her undeniable presence in Hollywood, Jamie Lee Curtis has always been unapologetically herself. And let's be honest, if anything, those forgotten modeling days only add to her legend. They show a side of her that's raw, fearless, and totally unforgettable. It's proof that she was never just another actress following the Hollywood mold. She was breaking barriers before people even realized it. And now that these images have resurfaced, it's clear Jamie Lee Curtis was always ahead of her time. So, what do you think? Should these lost photos be celebrated as part of her legacy? Or do you think Hollywood had a point in keeping them under wraps? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you love juicy Hollywood secrets, hit that subscribe button, because we have plenty more where this came from.